What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the ATK H.A.L.T. Now, this is a knife that came in via the Lefty passaround group, and this is the first designed by Lewis over at Addicted to Knives. I will leave a link to his website down below where you can still pre-order these. I believe every version is still up for pre-order. There's 3 different versions. You have the green micarta version that I have here. You have a purple haze fat carbon version, and you also have a Mars Valley fat carbon version. They all come in at the same price. And let me check one more time to make sure. Yes, they are all 3 available for pre-order, which is awesome. These went up for pre-order on January 19th, I believe. Today is Monday, February 26th. So they've been up for over a month, which is surprising because this is a damn good knife, guys. I was unfortunately not able to jump into the pre-order. I really wish I could. I can't swing that right now. Just with other stuff going on. I actually sold my my K390 Warncliffe Delica with the Mod 2 scales on it. I know I said I wasn't going to sell it, but never carried it. Just sat in my knife case, and I got about $215 out of that, and I actually put that into the pre-order for the Fractus from Tempest Knives. And I really it was neck and neck between this and the Fractus. The Fractus just spoke to me a little bit more, and it was a little bit easier for me to swing because I had those funds readily available. So unfortunately, I was not able to get in on one of these. But man, if I hit the lottery, or if I come into a lot of money somehow real quick on a sports bet or something, I want to pick one of these up because these are fantastic. Lewis, if you are watching this, man, you did a fantastic job, an awesome job on your first design, and I think you killed it. Simply as that, I think you killed it. Again, it'll be linked in the description down below. Please go check out his website. Again, it's his first design, and I think he's coming out swinging. He's going for the home run here, and he is really doing very good. So, yeah, we're gonna jump into the review here. I don't want to dilly-dally around, take up your guys' time, but I do want to read a little blurb on the H.A.L.T. So this is the H.A.L.T, like I said, the debut design from ATK Knives. This knife boasts a slender, hollow grind sheep's foot blade, paired with a unique bolster that features an elegant sweeping line. It is well-balanced blade-to-handle ratio maximizes functionality, making it ideal for everyday use. Comes in at 3.2 ounces. It stands out as a premier EDC pocket knife. Now, the name, the H.A.L.T, is not just a name. It is something very close to Lewis and his lifestyle and his past that led him to where he is today. And it says the name H.A.L.T isn't just a title, it's an acronym deeply rooted in the recovery and mental health community, which Lewis has been a part of. He's went down those paths and he's worked his way out of it. He's very adamant in those realms, those areas, representing the 4 key stressors: hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. This knife is more than a tool. It serves as a meaningful reminder of the essential aspects of well-being in the journey of recovery and mental health management. I love that. I love when the style and the name behind a product and the things you put into that design mean something, especially when it's as meaningful as everything that I just read to you guys for Lewis. So I really do think that's awesome. I'm just a sucker for a good story, and I wanted you guys to hear that. So I just wrote off a little bit of a blurb from his website. And if you guys, again, check the link in the bio, you guys can read about that too. But without further ado, jumping into materials. So this is MagnaCut steel, coming in between 61 and 63 HRC. I think it says MagnaCut. I thought it said MagnaCut somewhere on here, but I could be wrong. This is a prototype. I don't think he's changing much because I think the prototype was really good. Blade length of 3.43 inches, overall length of 7.77 inches from tip to butt. Handle at 4.29 inches, blade thickness 0.12 inches, handle thickness of 0.47 inches, on ceramic bearings with steel washers. Expected delivery is July to August. So those are all the materials. So I'm going to give it a 5. MagnaCut, micarta specifically with these inlays. You have a nice bolster over here. You have a milled titanium pocket clip that is not reversible, but it does look really good and it functions well. 3.2 ounces, so it's very lightweight for being almost a 3.5-inch knife. And the other two versions, the Mars Valley Fat Carbon and the Purple Haze Fat Carbon, are also very good too. So 3 different, variations, all awesome, all really, really good materials. So 5 out of 5. Next up is the aesthetic. I think this thing looks fantastic. That blade is just, it's wicked looking, has a beautiful tip, hollow grind. I love the bolster. I love how it has kind of a, sweeping motion to it. The micarta looks really good. Again, you have a great aesthetic on the pot clip. I think it looks very, very good. Love the little cutout for the bolster. Just overall, a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic looking knife. So that's going to get an easy 5 as well. Really just is quite the looker. And I love, just a very wicked looking blade shape. So next up is the action. Now I do want to preface with the pivot does continue to keep walking on me with this model. I think I've had to tighten it down probably 3 or 4 times. I'll carry it or fidget with it for a while, and eventually it'll start to get loose, and all I got to do is just torque it down a little bit. This is not my knife. This is a passaround knife, again, from the Lefty passaround knife, or passaround group, and it's one of Lewis's prototypes. So, I really don't want to add, Loctite or thread locker or things like that. So I just tighten it back up as far as I can go. So I, just want that to be aware, but I did just tighten it up before this video, so it should be good. Dead centered, nice hole for deployment. Thumb stud fires right out of there. Middle finger flick really is nice. This thing has a fantastic detent. It honestly seems a little bit light when I'm doing like this, because the blade just kind of like glides down in. But from a fidget standpoint, that middle finger flick, you just get your thumbnail kind of down in, or your middle fingernail down in there, and it just pops right out. Thumb flick works really good. You can slow roll it, of course. You can index finger flick it. Works pretty well. Now for the drop, you guys can see, no blade play at all. Drops to your nail. Basically just drops, a little bit of movement, and it's closed. Very, very nice, very smooth. Now this was to a couple people before me, so it did get, fidgeted with quite a bit, but just goes to show how nice a knife can be, in the action department when it's broken in, when it's, sort of glassy and smooth and has that, detemp track, just really, really raring to go. So it's going to get a 5 out of 5 on the action. Just very, very satisfying reverse flick, nice drop, nice smooth touch. I really, really enjoy it. So another 5 on the paper. Now for acoustics, this is, I think, where it's going to be the first non-5. It's good, but it's not 5 out of 5 good. You want to see when it opens, you get a nice thwack, but then you get a little bit of a ting when you disengage a knife. I don't know if you guys can catch that, but you get a little bit of a kind of high-pitched, and not on that one, but I don't know. It's very hard to hear, but I definitely hear it. And it's a satisfying noise, but it's definitely not 5 out of 5, and that's because micarta, it tends to sort of deaden or soften the sound when it comes to acoustics. If this was full titanium with like some cutouts on the inside for weight reduction, this thing would be singing really good, I think, because it is, it has the ability to, but you guys can see I do sometimes miss on that thumb flick. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.5, because again, the basis is there, the baselines are there, the foundation is there. I just think if there is maybe a full tie version, I don't know if the fat carbon would be any better than the micarta, because fat carbon isn't really a noise conductor. It would probably be around the same. So I really think you would need, some aluminum scales or some titanium scales. I think would really, really be really nicely, or pair nicely with this for acoustics. But still good nonetheless. So next up is ergos, and it's a pretty simple design. For the handle, you pretty much have a straight line from here back to here. you have a sharpened, not a sharpened, but a sort of a, a slanted cutoff here, and pretty much a straight line from here to here, and then you have this indentation right there. Well, I can get all 4 fingers on the knife very comfortably. The pocket clip is flush to the scales, so you're not going to get much of a hot spot from it. It's not digging into your hands. It's not, not causing a hot spot, I guess basically is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I try to get too wordy with my answers when I could just be simple and to the point. So I'm trying to work on that. But there is no jimping, but you have plenty of space out here. You can land back here with your thumb. You can land up here with your thumb for really good control when you're going through push cuts. You can sort of use this area as a landing choil if you're going to be really, really careful. And you're going super slow through things, but you are basically on the edge of that blade. So you have to be well aware of where the blade is, where your finger is, and definitely do not, do anything that's going to be herky-jerky, that's going to risk you sliding down right onto that blade and slicing your finger open. So I really don't consider that a choil. I definitely would just consider this being the most popular grip. Pinch grip works really good. Pointer finger basically thumb on this pivot, middle finger on this pivot, and pointer finger up here for control through slices and cuts. Works very well, especially with that Warncliffe, just that low tip, drop it down in, slice through things, cut around things of that nature. Micarta has a really nice feel to it. I don't know who these are being OEM'd by. That is one thing that is not said on here. I think it might be Kubi, I think is what I've heard before from different people. I could be wrong, but I think it is Kubi. And they do a really good job on their OEM products. However, there are 2 sharp areas that don't necessarily affect when you're holding the knife, but just when you're kind of like moving it around, I kind of caught on it. The edge of the micarta inlay right there, when the bolster lock is engaged, is sharp. And then the edge of the knife right there, where the bolster lock is normally flush with when the knife is closed, is also a little sharp. Now your finger kind of just absorbs that in this grip. So you're, again, really not feeling it unless you're kind of just like moving your fingers around the knife and so on and so forth. But I just wanted to mention it to you guys. However, it's not really, causing much of an issue in the actual ergo, department with the H.A.L.T. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 just because I do, I just want that to be aware because everyone's hands are different. Everyone's, grips are different. So that might affect you. Not necessarily is affecting me, but it could be affecting someone with smaller hands or, things like that. So I'm going to give it a 4.5. Next up is carry. And this carries very well. Again, it has a milled titanium pot clip. I would have loved to seen like a wire deep carry clip or something like that to get it. I'd like to get it to a true deep carry is what I'm trying to say. You have about that much sticking out of your pocket, which isn't a big deal. I just maybe would have moved it over a little bit to be right in that corner to get maximum, pocketability, but it goes in a pocket very well. It's simple, just a nice clean design. Sits down in your pocket like this. You have no flipper tab, no jipping, nothing like that to risk catching on your hand if you're down underneath it getting changed, chapstick, medicine, AirPods, things that are floating down underneath this. When you come up with whatever you're getting, you're not going to catch on anything and risk pulling the knife up out of your pocket, which is a nice little added touch. I carried this in jeans, I think 2 or 3 times. I've carried it in sweatpants and shorts around the house 15 times, quite a bit. And even just tossing in the pocket, coming in at just over 3 ounces. It's very lightweight. It's a nice size. It's relatively slim when you're tucked in like this with the blade. So really no complaints at all, except for, the pot clip maybe just being moved or a deep carry clip. So I'm going to give it another 4.5. Very, very close to being a 5, but just those really, really small nitpicks is kind of, just enough to keep me from giving it a 5. But lastly is price point and value / would I recommend this knife? I would absolutely recommend this knife. I think it's fantastic. I think, again, for Lewis's first design, he killed it. He hit a grand slam out of the park, game winning, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, bases loaded, down by 3, 3-2 count. He crushed it, just murdered it. Absolutely love this design. So I think, if you see this design and you like it, I think absolutely go pick one of these up. Now they are coming in at $275, which I think is fair. I don't think it's necessarily the best value, for what you're getting, but for MagnaCut, for a bolster lock with a milled clip, great action, really good ergos, good carry, micarta or 2 versions of fat carbon. I think that's fair, especially the fat carbon. I think it's a better value because fat carbon tends to be a little bit more expensive. But I've had this issue with the last couple knives I think I've reviewed, to where I don't have an issue with the price point, but I don't necessarily think it is the, best bang for your buck knife. And that's perfectly okay. Every knife doesn't have to be the best value. And I think I'm going to give it a 4 on that, because there are better values out there for the price, but I don't have an issue with that, price. I think sub $300, anything under $300 is very, very okay for this knife. You get above that, maybe it's starting to be a little bit above that price range. But so again, don't have an issue with it, but I don't think it's the best bang for your buck. And I hope you guys fully understand that, what I'm coming from, because there are better values out there for micarta, MagnaCut, good action, good ergos, everything that this knife brings to the table, you can get in a cheaper price point, but you can't get this knife. You know what I mean? So hopefully that you guys pick up on that. But again, I think that, this is a very, very good knife. I really am a big fan of it. And hopefully someday I'm able to get one. Hopefully, maybe someday he'll do another run with full titanium, or maybe he'll do I would love to see him do a budget version of this with maybe some 14C28N and some aluminum scales. I think that would be fantastic. I think the door is now open for him to go in different avenues with different materials, and I really can't wait to see what he does. And again, if I happen to come into, a couple $100s with, the next couple days randomly, I definitely will. I can't say that because I got, adult things to pay for, bills, rent, things like that. But I really wish I could pick one of these up. So let me do the math here real quick to see what the knife gets on the scale. Alrighty, so the TPK, sorry, I'm thinking of TPK because I have the Hedgehog to review next. The ATK, Ticketed Knives H.A.L.T, is coming in at 31.5, which on my scale is in the great category. And it's so close to being in that fantastic category, just a very few nitpicks for me personally, to where they might not bother you, and if it doesn't, that's great, but that's where it's falling, and I think that's a very fair score for it. Again, and it's just a few, half a points away from jumping up into that fantastic category, and I think it's very, very close. And again, I really like the knife. I really like the meaning behind it. Lewis is a great guy. I've chatted with him a few different times, just in our group chat, and by ourselves. It's been a while, but Lewis is a great guy. And I wish him nothing but the best with this product. So, yeah, let me know down below. Did any of you guys out there that watch my stuff pick up a H.A.L.T? If you did, what model did you get? If you can't, do you want to get one in the future? Maybe if he does a drop of them, let me know. I'd love to hear you guys have to say. But I'm going to wrap it up now. So that was my full review on the ATK Knives H.A.L.T. Just a beautiful model, especially coming out. Lewis's first model, just can't get over that. Really, really good stuff here. So, yeah, but thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, day, night, whenever you're watching this. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.